My presentation today is on identity theft with a focus on how fraudsters choose their victims and preventive measures that can be taken to reduce the risk of identity theft from happening to you. The outline for my presentation is a brief introduction, a fraudster's theory when choosing victims, symptoms that you might be a victim of identity theft, preventive measures that can be taken, and a quick case of a real-life identity theft. Identity theft is a type of consumer fraud that can happen. Consumer fraud is any fraud that targets individuals to steal personal and financial information from. Identity theft is the most common type of consumer fraud according to the Federal Trade Commission. A growth in society and increase in technology can cause identity theft. This is because a growth in technology increases the amount of personal and financial information that there is online. For example, many stores or apps require personal information to create an account. Common ways a fraudster chooses to commit identity theft include hacking, dumpster diving, eavesdropping by listening to victims talk about personal information in public, and stealing social security numbers, which fraudsters can use to create personal bank accounts under the victim's name. Other ways a fraudster can use to commit identity theft is through stealing purses and wallets, phishing, which is voice phishing scams where fraudsters call victims to gather information from, spear phishing, and TSA fraud, which a TSA agent can steal passport information. Symptoms of identity theft include weird charges on the victim's credit card, a victim being fraudulently billed for services they never received, and a rejected tax return, which may indicate a fraudster has already filed taxes for the victim. Other symptoms of identity theft include a cashier accepting a victim's check due to the cashier not knowing if the victim is really who they are, and any notifications that passwords or address changes have been made that the victim did not make themselves. Preventions measures that can be taken is having the post office hold mail when you are out of town, shred any documents with personal information, reduce online banking and shopping, be cautious when talking about personal or financial information in public. The FBI passed the 1998 Act, which helped restrict anyone knowingly transferring personal information without proper authority. The 2004 Act was passed to increase the penalty for identity theft, which included 2 additional years for general offenses. The identity theft case happened in 2009 in California. Laura Love and David Jackson stole their neighbor's mail to steal personal information from, which they used to commit identity theft. They stole bank cards and financial information from the neighbor's car and hacked into their Wi-Fi passwords. They committed the fraud for 8 months before it was discovered by investigators. They stole the funds used for drugs, and they were guilty of 30 counts of grand theft and were banned from entering the neighborhood for 5 years.